Today, a Fourth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals three-judge panel revived a lawsuit against Augusta County Sheriff's Deputy Michael Roane that was dismissed by a lower court. The lawsuit is in connection with the September 24th, 2017 execution of Tina Ray's beloved pet dog, Jax. For those of you who need a reminder of the facts in this case, here's a clip from our previous coverage to get you up to speed. This time, Officer Roane shot and killed Tina Ray's German Shepherd, Jax, while he was on a leash that was attached to a zip lead on her property located at 70 Westview Street in Greenville, Virginia. The lawsuit states that Roane executed a beloved family pet by calmly placing a gun to the dog's head and blowing his brains out. According to the lawsuit, on Sunday, September 24th, deputies arrived at Miss Ray's home to serve her with a warrant in an ongoing domestic dispute between Ray and her husband. Those deputies took turns petting Jax as they spoke to Miss Ray. The lawsuit goes on to state that Michael Roane came barreling up Miss Ray's driveway in his police truck like a bat out of hell and screeched to a halt directly under Jax's zip lead. At the same time, the deputies yelled at Roane, "Wait, let her get her dog." Roane did not wait. He got out of his vehicle and headed towards the house. The lawsuit goes on to state that Jax began barking and approached Roane. In response, Roane began moving backwards towards his truck and pulled out his gun. The lawsuit alleges that Jax had reached the end of his line and couldn't get any closer to Roane. Roane realized that and stopped backing up, then calmly took a step towards Jax and put his gun to the dog's head at point-blank range and shot him execution style. The unanimous decision to overturn the lower court's ruling was a published opinion. Chief Judge Gregory wrote the opinion, in which Judge Keenan and Judge Richardson joined. The 14-page opinion is significant because since the beginning of 2019, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals has only chosen to publish 17 out of 42 opinions on cases involving Section 1983 claims. In a scathing reversal of the lower court's dismissal, the court ruled that the case should not have been dismissed and that Deputy Roane does not have qualified immunity for murdering Tina Ray's beloved pet Jax, and that the lower court had erroneously concluded that Roane was entitled to qualified immunity. On page 9 of Judge Gregory's opinion, he once again writes that the lower court, the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Virginia, under Judge Elizabeth K. Dillon, erred in holding the complaint filed to allege a violation of Ray's Fourth Amendment rights. Now remember, folks, Augusta County Sheriff Donald Smith stood by Roane when he killed Tina Ray's dog. And after a brief suspension, Sheriff Smith rewarded Roane for killing Tina's dog with a promotion to First Sergeant. Augusta County Commonwealth's Attorney Tim Martin and Sheriff Donald Smith failed to do their jobs and hold a rogue police officer accountable for his actions. Today's ruling states that if in fact Roane did what is alleged in the lawsuit, then he broke the law. Page 13 states, quote, "We hold that a reasonable officer in Roane's position would have known that his alleged conduct was unlawful at the time of the shooting in this case. Now that the courts have spoken, will Augusta County Sheriff Donald Smith finally do his job and fire First Sergeant Roane?" This is the same officer that took evidence out of the Augusta County Sheriff's Office's evidence room and never returned it, which ultimately stopped the Augusta County Sheriff's Office from becoming accredited. Seriously, Sheriff, this guy has done nothing but bring problem after problem to your department. So why in the heck does he still have his job? What does he got on you, Donald Smith? The law firm representing Tina Ray, Nexus Derechos Humanos, is funded by Nexus Services. I reached Nexus Services President and CEO Mike Donovan by phone earlier to get his reaction to today's ruling.
I'm very pleased that the Fourth Circuit, the Chief Judge, and the panel in its entirety realized that the District Court erred in its dismissal of Tina Ray's complaint. And more importantly, that Michael Roane, the deputy sheriff involved, who mercilessly assassinated Tina Ray's family pet, and didn't even care, was so callous about it. You know, what the court said is that those acts were unlawful. And that's important, because it's important that everyone in Augusta County understand that just because the sheriff and his deputies might think so, they are not above the law. And we have courts that will hold them accountable, thank God.
Now, this case sets a precedence because it basically says cops can't kill people's family pets on their private property if the animal doesn't pose a threat to the officer or others. I talked to Mike Donovan about this dynamic.
The Fourth Circuit has never before ruled on a case like this with these circumstances. In fact, in its opinion, the court recites that it has not, until this case, ever had a chance to rule on these facts. What facts are we talking about? An officer who knows that an animal does not pose a direct risk and shoots and kills it anyway. And what the court said is that an officer who does that does not get qualified immunity. What the court said is in order for the officer to get qualified immunity, he has to be an imminent risk and it has to be reasonable. And the court articulated a test that it will now conduct when considering cases involving officers shooting household pets, and what it means to every Virginian and every American who lives under the Fourth Circuit is that now today, thank God for Tina Ray and her courage, that now today your animals have a right not to be shot and killed by police who are on your property. That is a huge deal. Thank you so much to Tina Ray for the courage to stand up and make that happen, and thanks so much to the amazing lawyers at Nexus Derechos Humanos, that firm that we fund that does an amazing job standing up for the civil rights of humans and animals alike, to ensure that people like Michael Roane are held accountable when they don a badge and a costume and commit crimes under the color of law. Thank God we've got a court that says you can't do that anymore.
Now the case will go back to the lower court for trial. This is bad news for Augusta County Sheriff Donald Smith, Augusta County Commonwealth's Attorney Tim Martin, and for First Sergeant Michael Roane. And most importantly, for the people of Augusta County. And this ruling comes on the heels of Deputy C.J. Dietz settling a wrongful death suit for the 2016 death of an Augusta County man. Sheriff Smith, I challenge you to hold these officers accountable for their actions. In Verona, Theodore Whitelow, Breaking Through News.